I played a 2200. Now, this person came to my stream and was asking for an odds game. He gave himself 3 minutes to play, and I had 10 minutes. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to show you this game and why I'm proud of playing this game. So first, e4. We're gonna go for a Karo Khan. I just take the center like usual. We play an exchange Karo Khan, which is kind of boring, ain't gonna lie. I'm playing a little bit passive here, just developing all my pieces. Now, I'm playing like super like passive in a way because I know he's really good. He goes for a trade. I take back. I have a really strong bishop here. He defends the bishop. Now I'm going to play c4. He can take, but like, I'm eventually going to get that pawn back anyways. I can take it back right away with a check and then take it like that. So he chooses not to take the pawn. I put my knight behind that pawn. Just pretty simple stuff so far. Now what I do is take from the center, because I don't want to deal with this like check nonsense, and he stopped the check with his knight. So I went ahead and take, so I don't have to worry about it. He takes back with the knight. I'm like, wait, that might be a mistake. But I don't capitalize on it. I center my rook. I want my rook to be in the center of the board. No more developing moves. Now I take the knight. He takes back. Now my plan is to maybe attack this pawn, because it is weak. Only one defense on this pawn. Now, this move, I'm just going to fianchetto the bishop. That's basically why I moved my pawn to b3. b4 is just too weakening, and it's a free pawn for him. So I defend the pawn with the fianchetto. Now, as soon as he moves his queen, I realize, oh, that queen was defending that pawn. This pawn's mine now. Now, he's getting this pawn, pretty much, because he has 3 attackers on this pawn. There's really no way for me to defend it. So I'm like, alright, bro, I might as well take this pawn and see what happens. He's attacking the pawn yet again, because I had to move the bishop out of the way. I decide, you know what? He's attacking the pawn too many times. I'm just gonna take one of the pieces that are attacking my pawn. He takes back, of course. And now I defend the pawn with the rook lift. Now he is going to center his rook. He's offering a rook trade. But if I trade rooks, I just didn't want to trade rooks, to be honest. So what I did here was play queen g4. Now, if he takes with the rook, if he takes my rook, I can just take back with my queen, and I'm defending the pawn yet again. I'm pretty sure he could have taken this pawn any time, though, so I'm not sure why he didn't. Okay, he finally does. I'm going to take back with my bishop. I don't want to take my queen. I mean, that's just to give him a free queen. I'm not going for a queen trade. I still want to... I'm still trying to win this. I don't want to, like, give up all the pieces already. I'm just giving that pawn moves just so I don't get back ranked somehow. Now I'm going to attack this pawn because it is weak. It's isolated. I got to watch out for this. So I'm going to try to keep my queen here to defend this. He gives me a free pawn. I'm going to take that bad boy. Now he has an A pawn. I have a B pawn, basically. That's what we're playing for. I'm just going to march my pawn up the board. Gotta keep an eye on this square still. He checks. I block and he just takes. And now it's gonna be... game is really drawish now. Like, it's basically super symmetrical. He has no advantage. I don't really have anything. He doesn't really have anything. I play queen d2. I'm just like defending this pawn. I also want to maybe maybe do a perpetual check on him. Something like that. I'm gonna attack back because I don't want him just marching his pawns down the board. I'm not gonna let him do that right away. He takes, I just take back. Well, we're both trying to like slightly maneuver our way to get someone to accidentally blunder, but it's just really hard to. It's a really boring position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna push the pawn because then my queen's guarding both pawns and I don't have to worry about it. He's gonna march his pawn one square. I want to move my king up. Like, there's really not much to do in this position, so I'm like, I might as well try to get my king towards the center of the board. He checks me. I'm just gonna block with a pawn. I'm gonna keep marching my pawn up the board. It's still really drawish. So now what you see me doing is I'm trying to like wiggle my king to more of the center of the board. Okay, so what he has here is just he's trying to trick me with this. This pawn's going to be weak. You always want to try to attack at the base of the pawns. I finally block because, I mean, if we trade queens here, it's both drawing if we play good. And that's what we decide to do. So he takes, he's like, all right, let's do a pawn break right now. I'm like, well, I don't want to take his pawn. Let him take me. So I'm going to move my king towards the middle of the board. I keep marching and marching. He finally takes. I take back, of course. Now, what you're trying to do here is I have to make sure he doesn't get like behind my pawn at any moment. So I'm guarding these squares. Now I'm trying to wiggle away to this pawn, maybe. Try to get a queen. Now he's just going to match my tempo, right? Because if I get past this, I win. And if he gets past, he wins. So we're both going to try to like wiggle. I have to move my king back to protect my pawn here. And he's just like chilling around here. I'm thinking in my mind, maybe I can try to like run my king all over here, take his pawn, move my king away, then try to march the king. But I mean, that's just gonna take too long. He's just gonna do something on this side of the board. So what I do is I play king d4 as well. He plays king d5, threatening to take this pawn, and I just play it back. And we just make a threefold repetition here. And there's not really much to do. So I managed to draw a 2200 player. I'm pretty happy of it. Now, it was pretty boring game, but it's like when I check game review, it actually says I played like a 2650, which is wild. Because like basically, if you like just keep trading pieces down, most of the time if you trade pieces, it's okay. But the less pieces you have on the board, it's harder to win if it's equal. So that's why like stronger players will try to keep tension on the board to try to keep as many pieces on the board as possible so they can try to win. So if you just trade all the pieces down pretty quickly, it's probably going to end up as a draw as long as you don't mess up. And the real takeaway from this game is just make sure if you're going to play like this, make sure your end games are really strong. Because I could very well just try to go for this pawn here and lose the game because he's making a queen. I just wanted to share that game with you guys. A 22-32 I drew. And I'm just now trying to get better at chess, you know? And let me know what you thought about the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.